Welcome back. I have Neil Mason returning as a special guest. He's a PPA evaluation expert, which stands for personology, psychology, and astrology. And we're going to be breaking down P. Diddy's personality based on his birthday and a number of things. Why he does what he does. Can he help himself? You know, I love this, but I always prefer seeing you in person much, much better. And that should happen really, really soon, because I mentioned to you that I'm going to be doing something with a hotel there in Newport Beach. So let's talk about P. Diddy's birthday. Do you have those details? When is his birthday? When was he born? And what can you say is significant given the fact that he's under a lot of scrutiny right now, big trouble, arrested, detained in New York, without bail on serious allegations. And by the way, I heard it from a different podcast. The attorney or whoever it is that is charging him would not, there has to be some serious evidence for him to be in a situation right now where he is denied bail and he is arrested. And so they are taking these claims very, very seriously. So he's under a lot of hot water. So let's start with his birth date, and what can you tell us about him?
Yeah, I think the first thing we want to do, Carm, is we want to start with the good things about his personality.
Okay.
Because everyone's is like a two-sided coin, right? We have good things about us and bad things. And the reason I think we want to start with the good is because we want to figure out, how did he fool us for so long, right?
Okay.
Because we know now he's caught and it's clear. Okay, good. But how did he go from getting a key to the city last year in New York? How did he go from, being the pitch man for Ciroc and De Leon and, Bad Boy Entertainment and literally the hottest guy on the planet? There's white parties and celebrities and, sports and music, and to now he's in jail. Okay, great. But how did he fool us for so long? What are the good traits to look out for? Because when I do a lot of coaching with women and they have they date the bad guy, the narcissist, the a-hole, you don't go to why he was poor or his poor traits or his bad qualities. You think about, how did he get you? Because that's what you want to look for, right? Is the red flags, or I call them the pink flags that turn red, right? So personality, P. Diddy, whatever we're going to call him, love, although I'm not sure that's appropriate for someone who's in jail right now. But
okay.
I think the
Sean Combs, like he goes by many. What are all his aliases? Sean Combs, Diddy, P. Diddy. Are there any other ones?
Yeah, there's Love.
I had no idea he went by Love. Like seriously, Love, Love? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I will tell you one word that I'm going to start off with. And remember, every personality has a good and bad. There's no right or wrong. And I say good and bad, but I want to say both sides of the coin. But one of his words that I've found is most telling is what's called escapist. And the escapist is just what it sounds like. He can be outside of his body and looking at himself. So I fundamentally believe a lot of people who have severe bipolar disorder or who are dissociative, and you look at psychopaths who can kill people, they'll actually tell the court or their lawyers that I didn't do it, because it wasn't them, it was somebody out of body doing it.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, right? So the thing that's important to understand that is, when I watched that CNN video very carefully, I actually could see how he was out of body, because the way he was running, the look in his eyes, it wasn't him. It was something else, a spirit, a demon, something, whatever you want to believe in. And then I bet you when he snapped out of it, he really was sorry, because he's like, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was something else possessing him. So people with that birthday, right around that time, November 4th, 1969, they actually have the ability to be an escapist or out of body. So let's just start with that context.
Okay.
And then that allows you to understand how he could behave the way he does, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the good stuff, because he's really polarizing. Guys like him are really magnetic, charming, right? He won over the world. He was, Biggie Smalls, Mace, The Lox, right? It's, P. Diddy, J-Lo, right? So he's got big time magnetism, charisma, right? People just like the guy. You're around him, you love him. And then he's very involved. So if you notice, and you've heard stories, that he's very detail oriented. He's got his hands and fingerprints on every little detail, whether it's production, whether it's the sound, whether it's, even when he's with Biggie, he's rapping along, he's really involved. A couple other things about him, good words are serious. And you can see he gets very focused. Steadfast. He doesn't give up. He's on task. He's focused. Sexual in a good way, because sex is energy. Sex is life-giving. Sex is passion. Charisma. Now, is also violence. We'll talk about that later. But he's sexual, and you see that he actually looks like he makes love to the music. He connects with women. He's got sexual energy, and we're not here to talk about his sexuality, whether he's gay or straight or bi, but you can see that he utilizes sex in a way to connect with people, tied in with the charm and the magnetism, right? Is that kind of it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sensitive. He gets his feelings hurt. So how do you bring someone in as a narcissist? You're the victim. So in a way, he feels, he's sensitive. Funny, he's humorous. He's a really funny guy. Again, humor is a great way to the soul. It's a great way to bring people closer. It's a way you disarm people, you disable them, is by being funny and really funny. Also knowledgeable. He's smart, right? Up to date. He's always on the cutting edge, whether it's fashion with Sean John, whether it's music, whether it's, he's just a guy that's, he was one of the first guys promoting Ciroc. I remember going to the club 20 years ago, and Ciroc was you got to get a bottle of vodka. You got Ciroc because of Diddy. Pete Ciroc. Yeah. He kind of innovated the idea of being a rapper who's promoting his own alcohol brand.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he no longer is associated with that, but when he was, it was a big deal, right? Like, to your point about the multiple businesses, there's Sean John, the label, there's Bad Boy Entertainment, which is his music. So you got music, fashion, and now you've got, alcohol with Ciroc. So yeah, are his birthdays entrepreneurial? Do they like to invest in all of these different businesses?
Well, one person with a similar birthday to his is Kris Jenner.
Oh, Mama hello?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
cool.
When you look at the two of them, they're actually the same person with two sides of the coin.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But if you look at how they operate, how they move, it's very, very similar.
Well, that's why the Kardashians seem to always be close to Diddy, and they were at these parties, by the way, both the supposed freak-offs and the white party. And he threw Kim's, I just did a video on this, he threw Kim's 50th birthday party. Okay. Yeah. And there were a lot of people in attendance. But continue. I'm loving everything that you're saying about the positive sides, which is what makes it really attractive for women. You're not even getting into the bad stuff, but if you're leading with the good stuff, it kind of makes if there's an equal bad stuff list to this good stuff list, I'm like, damn, there's yin and yang, right?
But it's not just women. It's women, it's men, it's kids. You saw the video with him and Bieber, where Bieber was a little boy, right? Yeah, magnetism.
He mentors, he took in a lot of young people, and there's a lot of controversy and conversation around what he felt was appropriate to expose these young kids to. And when Usher was asked by Howard Stern if he would allow his kids to go to Puff Daddy's camp, he's like, hell to the no. He's not going to let him do that.
But you got to remember, when you ask somebody a question and they're sober and it's in the middle of the day, it's very logical. When you ask them a question and now it's at night, it's a different answer. But then when you ask them a question and they're drunk, then it's a completely different answer. And but drunk is also drunk with alcohol, drunk in love, drunk for opportunity. So if you said to Usher, you could be Usher Raymond, the guy who lives in Atlanta and is a musician's assistant, or you could be Usher, the guy who's selling out the Intuit Dome and who's playing at the Super Bowl, but you just got to sell your soul to Diddy. He would do it again, right? So it's not that simple as, would I let my son do it? Well, no, but you don't have to let your son do it because you're wealthy.
Right.
But you're 13 and you're trying to make it in life, and he made it.
Right.
And that's the thing with Hollywood, is you're starting to find out, right? A lot of people are, they say selling their soul. Well, that's now you understand what the soul means, right? And Diddy's connection to people is at a soul level. That's what makes him so dangerous. And that's what because he brings you in and then you're there. And then when you're Cassie trying to get out and trying to run away, people said, why was she with him for 10 years? Because she had to be. And it's not just being brainwashed. That's part of it, but it's the magnetism. It's really hard to pull a magnet apart. Really hard.
Yeah. You talked about leading with the fact that he is polarizing. And when you talk about his good traits, people want to be around charismatic people like that. People want to be around connected people. And if you are, at the top, no matter what that looks like, it looks nice. It looks like he can offer something. And money has a way, as more money, more problems. But for those who are on the climb, and maybe, I'm not even going to say their morals are tainted, if they're that hungry, they'll turn a blind eye. And unfortunately, that's the reputation in entertainment is that people will go to great lengths if the result is that they are guaranteed, fame. Because what is the cost of fame? That's a completely different conversation, but I like where you're going.
Yeah, and again, I talk about the soul connection because there's different connections with people. There's the brain. It makes sense. You do business with somebody, you partner. It's logical. That's the brain. Then there's the heart. And the term falling in love is actually apropos because you don't step into love. You fall hard. Or
Fall hard.
Right?
It's like a deep pit of regret sometimes.
So now you go down the body. Okay, so what's from the brain to the heart? What's next? The stomach. That's consumption. That's food. But that's also, a safe passage, a place to live, security, feed me, take care of me, right? So now you're looking at the stomach. And that's really important to people. Why they don't leave guys like this? Because they're paying the bills. Because he's providing, a place to live. He's providing protection, right? So someone like J-Lo, you saw even when they went through their thing, she felt safe around him in a weird way, right? Then you look at the genitals going down the body some more, and sex is a real thing for certain people. It's a real thing. And there's, sex addiction is real. And not only the act of having sexual tension, sexual buildup, and then the violence right? You look at BDSM, you look at role play, sex and violence are very closely related, right? Another guy with a similar birthday to Diddy is Ike Turner.
Okay.
And if you actually look at the two of them, I'll challenge the listeners, Google Ike Turner and then
I'm doing it right now. So he's born November 5th, 1931.
But what's interesting is he's born exactly 38 years before Diddy. The cycle based on the Earth and the Moon and the rotation, it switches every 18 and a half years.
They're one day apart. Diddy is November 4th, 61.
One day apart, but also they're almost exactly 37, they're 38 years apart.
Right.
So not only are they the same day, the same week, but they're literally the same, we call it the way every 4 months window. There's 48 windows. It repeats after years. Would
it be safe to say from an analogy, it's like the reincarnation of Ike Turner? Like you could just say that here is Ike Turner, like in 1969, the 38 years in the past. You could say that that's pre-P Diddy or post Ike Turner, one or the other. These are the same guys.
Well, just Google pictures of them both and look at the eyes.
Okay.
It's really interesting. And I found in my data that people with the same birthday look alike. I mean, there's more to it than there's.
Wow. Yeah, that's eerie. We got to do that side-by-side photo. That's really eerie. Okay. Yeah. Is this where we're moving on to now the darker side of his personality? So
remember, in every good trait, there's bad themes, but in every bad trait, there's good themes. Okay. That's what makes it so complicated, right?